Hey, freaks. It's January 21st, 2007. This is podcast number 57.
Hey Freakies, it's Jenna.
I'm Bob. How you doing?
And we're back. We're actually doing it a week after we did our last podcast.
We're going to try to do it week to week here. Even if we have 5 minutes of stuff, we're going to come 5 minutes. If we have an hour, we'll go for an hour.
Yeah.
I think we're going to try to do it week to week from now on.
Definitely. So this one will probably be a little shorter than what we usually do, but probably not much.
I hope it'll be shorter. I got shit to do today, man.
I know, I do too.
I can't do 2 hours of a podcast today.
Classes start tomorrow and I'm not ready yet.
You just told everybody you're not ready. What's that popping noise?
I don't hear it.
I'm crazy.
Yes, you are.
The voices told me to say it.
Great.
Yeah. Speaking of the voices, we were, I watched this show the other day on the Discovery Channel about this guy who was like living in a haunted house, supposedly, with his wife and a small child. And he said that the voices kept telling him to do violent things to his wife. And he was convinced that it was the spirit in the house, the ghost that was telling him to do this stuff to his wife. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, dude, it's not the ghost, you're fucking crazy.
Schizophrenic, I believe is what you said.
Yeah, well, fucking crazy sounds better.
Yeah.
No, I mean, when you hear voices like that tell you to do evil things, you need to see a healthcare practitioner very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I don't know what that has to do with veganism, but I just thought I'd say it. It just came. Speaking of the voices, I don't know. The voices told me to say it. So, a couple quick things we want to talk about this week. We're going to do. We have some announcements. First, we still need more questions from you for Gary Francione, who'll be on the show next week, 27th.
So before the 27th, we need questions.
Preferably, like in the next day or two, we need questions for you.
We only gotten a few.
You can ask him whatever you want.
Yeah.
He's really cool. You can ask him anything. Mm-hmm. So even if it's really challenging, confrontational, mean, nasty, you can ask him. Well,
anything related to animal rights.
Yeah.
Not just anything. Hey, Gary, what's your favorite color?
Gary, who's your favorite band? You can ask him that, actually. I kind of know who he likes. No, I do. He's pretty heavily into Pink Floyd, and he is.
Cool.
So, but anyway, we need questions from you. So, podcast@veganfreak.com. Send us your questions. We would love to hear from you. And so would Professor Francione.
Indeed.
So that's our first announcement. Do we have another one?
I think that's all.
Oh, because you had announcements and shit on the outline.
I didn't know if you had any more announcements.
Oh, well, I don't have any more.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Good. Okay.
Go ahead.
One thing from last week, we did the Angels and Asshats, and I yelled at everybody because we didn't get very many nominations.
Yeah, but we missed a couple.
But apparently we missed some.
Because we're knuckleheads.
We are.
Oh, by the way, I do have another announcement. If you send us email, I try to respond to most of them, or one of us does. Mm-hmm. But we're behind. I'm only now getting through the beginning of January email from people.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard from us and you're expecting to, patience, young Jedi.
Indeed.
Okay, sorry.
But anyway, now all people have come up with all kinds of new Angels and Asshats. I think Kat on the forum suggested, whoa!
My bottle of water
knock over your water.
Crap. That would be a fucking mess. Okay.
I believe it was Jamie Oliver and, all those TV chefs, Gordon Ramsay, etc. They all hate vegans.
They're all fuckers.
Exactly.
I'm especially colorful today. I'm very blue. My language is very blue today.
Well, that's good because we've got something to read later that relates to that.
We do indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. So anyway, we also got this email from Webley, who says, I was sad to hear my vegan angel recommendation didn't get mentioned. We apologize for that. We apparently missed it. But that's cool because maybe it will with my idea. And we are indeed talking about it now. How about you two do this every week? That way it will show us the amazing little things people have been doing around the U.S. It will also give us... Give some of us ideas on how to spread the world in little ways. I'm not saying I'm an angel, but it's nice to hear the things people are doing.
Spread the world?
Spread the word. I can't read. I'm not a good protester because I get too angry/violent, and that's not a message I want to send. So I organized a potluck last summer for the protesters. They are angels to me, and to attend their to tend after their day on the front line. It was my way of saying thanks.
Absolutely.
So I agree. I think we should do this. Maybe not every week if we don't have anything, but like every other week, or just when we think about it.
I agree.
So if you have more people to send them.
People who you think are doing good work, we would like to hear about it.
Indeed.
And I agree, though. I mean, you know, like people think of action as going out and doing a protest or handing out leaflets or something, but there are a million other things you can do behind the scenes to support that kind of work if you're not comfortable doing it, or just anything that you have a talent at doing. Go and do it.
Right.
Run along, do it.
So she also has her Angels and Asshats nominations. Webley says, my friend Jen for putting together pamphlets on veganism and the environment and flyering outside an inconvenient truth while Al Gore was in town. She wanted to show one more way to reduce global warming. That's great. The Portland protesters who are downtown in front of Schumacher Furs every Saturday doing their thing in a peaceful way. Because of their continued peaceful pressure, the company is leaving town. As for asshats, Linda and Asshat Schumacher for being such jerks to the protesters. See Linda's counter protest in the sign they put on their window, and she's got links to some of these things in her email. So thank you, Webley, for the Angels and Asshats.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. We should do this more often. If you have people you want to have recognized as either an angel or an asshat, let us know.
Definitely.
We would love to hear from you.
Definitely. And I think end up talking about asshats like every week anyway.
Yeah. And
someone sent along an asshat about Horizon Dairy, but we ended up talking about Horizon last week when we talked about the organics and all that kind of stuff. So
there are perpetual asshats.
Well, yeah.
There are people who are stuck in asshatdom.
Indeed.
And will always be in asshatdom.
Indeed. So, but we don't always know about the angels, because often angels don't get recognized. So if you have friends that are doing something really interesting or good, let us know about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now what?
This relates to something we talked about. I think it was podcast 53, 4, 5. One of those in there.
I can tell you. Keep talking.
Podcast 3, 4, 5. When we talked about the babies as food, and we had shown you a picture on our website of the Martha Stewart thing. It's the baby in a turkey costume.
Yep.
And recently someone put a link on our forums to this video that actually talked about the episode that we saw of Martha Stewart. So I think we'd like to play that for you.
Oh, wait, I'm looking for the number.
Oh, you're looking for the number.
It's November 20th show.
Okay.
It's called Babies as Food, Dead Things on Plates, AETA, Vegan Freak for a Week, and Dino. Okay, so here's the thing we're going to play. Someone on the forums, I forget who. Did you...
No, I forgot to write down who it was.
Well, we apologize. It was nice of you to link it for us, and we've forgotten to thank you in person. By your name, but give this a listen.
Just when you thought there wasn't a craft left for Martha Stewart to teach us, she comes up with a doozy. On Thursday's show, she dressed a bunch of babies in food costumes and set up a buffet.
Now there are little pictures of babies
and creepy
in the food.
If you look closely, you'll see that this isn't a turkey at all. And this is not really a lobster. And this cute little lemon meringue pie is actually Hudson King. Yes, and he's smiling.
It's a lemon meringue pie with legs.
The cutest part of the whole thing was that Martha dressed each baby like the food that was in its diaper.
One baby on the end, they like, oh, she fell asleep on a little cupcake. That baby dead. That baby ain't sleeping. That baby is a dead baby. Somebody put that cake in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit. The baby's delicious, but that baby dead.
So we'll be sure to link that in the show notes. You can go watch it on your own if you'd like.
Indeed.
But it is creepy. There's this table full of babies in food costumes, and it's really weird. Why would people want to eat babies?
I don't know. Oh, and someone also sent us a link a while back ago. They made a T-shirt on Cafe Press.
Oh, yeah.
About dead babies and free-range babies. So if I can find that link, I will put that link in our show notes, too, because it's pretty funny.
It is.
So if you're interested in a free-range baby T-shirt.
Your sound's going weird here.
Uh-oh.
Yet again.
Uh-oh. Am I wonky?
I don't know.
Am I wonky knobs?
You just got real faint.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway. Whatever.
But related to this, after we had talked about it on our show...
Good.
Now I sound fine. Okay. People were reminded of the story called Baby Cakes by Neil Gaiman.
Yep.
And we had thought about playing... He actually has a YouTube video where he reads the story, and we never played it. We forgot about it. So
yeah, we
I
did.
think we should play it now.
Yeah, let's play it. Where is it? Here it is. Listen, it's about 3 minutes long, so settle in and relax.
A few years back, all the animals went away. We woke up one morning, and they just weren't there anymore. They didn't even leave us a note or say goodbye. We never figured out quite where they'd gone. We missed them. Some of us thought that the world had ended, but it hadn't. There just weren't any more animals. No cats or rabbits, no dogs or whales, no fish in the seas, no birds in the skies. We were all alone. We didn't know what to do. We wandered around lost for a time, and then someone pointed out that just because we didn't have animals anymore, that was no reason to change our lives. No reason to change our diets, or to cease testing products that might cause us harm. After all, there were still babies. Babies can't talk. They can hardly move. A baby is not a rational thinking creature. We made babies, and we used them. Some of them we ate. Baby flesh is tender and succulent. We flayed their skin and decorated ourselves in it. Baby leather is soft and comfortable. Some of them we tested. We taped open their eyes, dripped detergents and shampoos in, a drop at a time. We scarred them and scalded them. We burnt them. We clamped them and planted electrodes into their brains. We grafted and we froze and we irradiated. The babies breathed our smoke, and the babies' veins flowed with our medicines and drugs until they stopped breathing or until their blood ceased to flow. It was hard, of course, but it was necessary. No one could deny that. With the animals gone, what else could we do? Some people complained, of course, but then they always do. And everything went back to normal. Only yesterday, all the babies were gone. We don't know where they went. We didn't even see them go. We don't know what we're going to do without them. But we'll think of something. Humans are smart. It's what makes us superior to the animals and the babies. We'll figure something out.
That's awesome.
It is indeed. But we eat baby animals.
Of course. And I mean, all of those justifications that he talks about in the story for using babies are what people use to justify using animals for food and for medicine and
That's
for
right.
animal testing and all that kind of shit.
I know, but I don't even think he's a vegetarian.
No, that's the strange thing. He wrote that story, I think at the behest of PETA, from what I understand.
Yeah, someone had mentioned that before, that he did it as a benefit for them.
Yeah. But I find it strange that he's not even a vegetarian.
He probably eats humane meat. Humanely raised baby.
Ah, yes.
Humanely raised
Indeed.
baby meat. But
Well, if the babies were happy before they died, well then, it's okay.
absolutely, it's fine. Why not? Babies are, well, he said, their flesh is tender and succulent. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it is.
Just like I'm sure people
Veal.
think veal. That's what they describe veal as.
Yep. Absolutely.
Baby leather, it's...
Baby leather. I don't know. So, oh, sorry.
You keep playing with the knobs.
I like to play with my knobs. I know. Our mixer's being weird today. Anyway, so babies.
There you go.
There you
So
go.
we finally got around to it, even though, that was like way back in November when we first talked
Well,
about it, but
We'll talk. We'll,
okay.
We'll bring things up as we have time. And
We do.
We get there. Mm-hmm. But I think it's creepy to dress babies up like food.
I know, especially... we should put the link to the YouTube video of the first thing that we played. Well, and for both things.
I'm going to put both things up.
The whole table with all of the babies dressed in their food costume is weird.
And they're all just sitting there. It's like a little kicking cream pie, little legs kicking out of this thing. It's very strange.
It is really weird.
What would prompt somebody to do that?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
How bored could you possibly be before you decided that you needed to go to the trouble of sewing this baby costume, like in the shape of food for your kid?
I have no idea.
I would love to have that kind of time where I got
Me
that
too.
bored.
I know. It would be wonderful.
If I could ever get that bored, it would amaze me. Mm-hmm. Be great, in a way. Ay. Okay, well, enough about babies. If you have reflections on babies and their uses as food, please write to us. by the way, we only endorse free-range, humanely slaughtered baby meat.
Of course.
That's the only thing we get behind. We don't think that you should eat factory farmed baby meat.
No.
Okay. Another thing we heard this week that I thought was kind of funny. It's gonna be a very short show.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's okay. Another thing we heard this week that I thought was kind of interesting is this little article.
Mm-hmm.
Pomegranate juice maker to halt animal testing. Pomegranate juice maker Pom, whatever it is. Wonderful, which became a target of animal rights activists because of the research the company did into its juice's medical benefits, said Wednesday to stop testing on animals. Wonderful Pomegranate Juice has ceased all animal testing, and we have no plans to do so in the future, Linda and Stuart Resnick, owners of Pom parent company Roll International, wrote to all Pom retailers by email or post on Wednesday. A copy of the letter was obtained by Reuters. Whole Foods Market Incorporated, the largest natural and organic grocery chain, said it decided to stop selling Wonderful Pomegranate Juice and associated tea blends by April 1st if Pom continued to fund studies that might include animal testing. Whole Foods was not immediately available to comment on the Pom letter and decision. But also Wednesday, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals told Reuters it would not call off a boycott of Pom drinks until it had an assurance that the Resnicks would not shift the animal testing to another entity they control. Asked about such a possibility, a spokesman for Pom directed Reuters to the letter in which the company stated it will not sign a PETA petition saying Pom has stopped funding animal research because the company will not be, quote, bullied or extorted. Last month, another animal rights group claimed it had tampered with 487 bottles of Pom juice, prompting the number 2 U.S. natural and organic grocer Wild Oats Markets Incorporated to pull the product from shelves in some of its East Coast stores. Pom called the tampering claim a cruel hoax Wednesday, and a Wild Oats spokesman said the grocery chain had already returned the Pom drinks to the shelves of the stores after testing showed the products had not been tampered with. In our quest to discover how pomegranate juice can help treat human diseases and conditions such as arteriosclerosis, prostate cancer, erectile dysfunction... Dude, if you got erectile dysfunction, you need more than juice, okay? And birth defects. Gee, this is like the miracle juice from, Anyway, it was sometimes necessary to fund animal testing, Pom said in the letter. Pom said human trials continue. So, that they're stopping animal testing, good.
Of course, yes.
And I'm tired of talking about Whole Foods, but...
They keep coming up.
This is the thing, okay? I'm going to just take a deep breath before I...
Okay.
The contradictory nature of a company that sells meat, dairy, eggs, cheese, and other products that come directly from the exploitation of animals, complaining about animal testing, is too great for me to wrap my head around. Mm-hmm. It is, at its very nature, a contradiction. Right? Mm-hmm. On the one hand, they want to drop a product that is tested on animals because they think that is not right. But on the other hand, they sell and they, as they always say, depend upon products that require the torture of animals in order to come to market. What is the fucking difference? What is the difference? I mean, what's the argument? The argument the average omnivore would give you when you were to bring up this, they would say, well, look, with the animal studies for pomegranate juice, it's like a waste, right? It's not really good. It's not benefiting people enough or whatever. It's probably what the average omnivore would tell you. And that the animal's life is not wasted when they're meat or when they're being, tortured to produce eggs or dairy, right? Mm-hmm. But it is a waste because just like we don't need the animal test to prove that pomegranate juice, will help you or won't help you get hard, we don't need eggs and we don't need dairy. And there is no argument here, a sane argument to be made for this entire. It just doesn't. There's nothing.
But of course, if you're a welfarist, though,
sorry, I'm going to explode.
It makes sense because then you're making the lives better for the animals. Because if you're only selling humane meat, then it's okay. And if you're stopping animal testing, to them it's like the same vein. It's like fighting against animal testing is the same as fighting against battery cages.
Well, fighting against animal testing is fine.
Of course. But to them, they see that as similar. Of course, they miss the whole point, whereas the end product is a product of death.
Exactly.
You have to kill the animal and eat it when we don't need to.
It's like the people who claim to be animal rights activists but eat meat.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? You're an animal rights activist? Change one thing in your life and quit eating meat, eggs, dairy, and cheese if you care about animals. That's the least you can do. right? Live it in your goddamn life.
Right.
If you really believe it.
Or that quote-unquote animal rights activist who wrote into Newsweek that we talked about last week that
Someone-
supported the hunter.
Someone suggested on the forums that was a plant.
Yeah,
I
I
think
didn't even
that's-
thought about that. But
I think that's smart.
I think it is smart. I think it's probably true.
I think that's probably the case.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see happening here is this complete division between kind of a solid moral or ethical foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you believe animals are not ours to exploit, that's something you should believe. Period.
Right. Not. It's
Comma.
It's not only
If
okay.
only.
Yeah. Right. Period. And it's not okay if we eat them.
Right.
In that case, well, then in that case, it's okay because it's nourishing us.
It's nourishing us, and we need to eat them to live. Right.
Right. And we say a prayer before we do it.
Some people
so
do.
we're respecting the animal before we eat it.
I think what we see here, though, again, is Whole Foods yet again doing a kind of public marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm not even. I don't want to talk about Whole. We need to put a Whole Foods moratorium in
Probably
effect.
not a bad idea.
Except next week, Gary Francine will probably
no.
go after them, knowing him. But
Yeah.
I think we need to put a Whole Foods moratorium in effect because we talk about it too much, and everybody knows how we feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought we had to illustrate what I see as deep contradictions in a company that sells animal products,
Mm-hmm.
claiming that another company should stop testing on animals. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
You want to stop some exploitation right in your own house? Stop selling meat.
Yep.
How hard is that?
Not at all.
Well, apparently it's quite hard for them because Mackey claims that if they stop selling meat, they would go out of business.
Yep.
But that whole and you know, people get very upset at me when I bring that up. But that whole argument to me is ridiculous. I mean, vegans like that argument. Some of them say, well, you know, they have to do it in order to stay in business. But it's like, what if this podcast? What if the only way we could stay in business was by selling meat? How many of you would support us? Really? I mean, like, what if I got on the air tomorrow and I said, look, you know, times are really tough. We're having a hard time making it here, and we're not covering our expenses. And, you know, I know we do a lot of good for the vegan community, but tomorrow I'm going to have to start slaughtering goats in the backyard, selling them to halal butchers locally. I mean, slaughtering halal goats. You know, slaughtering goats in the backyard. Fuck. I screwed this up. I'm going to do halal slaughter. Let's do that. It's a little niche market, right?
Right.
And, you know, it's a religious tradition. So I'm going to do halal slaughter in my backyard. And I have to do that in order to keep running the show. How many listeners will we have
None.
on the next show? 0. Yet John Mackey stands up, CEO of a major corporation that fills the bellies of vegans with fake meat and fake cheese and all that other bougie shit that we also love. Right? Me included. I like that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't go to Whole Foods, but, you know. And everybody's like, oh, John Mackey. And if I were to do the same thing for the show, I'd be like, well, I'd have no friends.
No.
I would be, you know, kicked in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't need to go out and cater to a niche market of halal slaughter to run a podcast. And he doesn't need to go out and cater to a niche market of bougie people who enjoy buying humanely killed, quote unquote, humanely killed meat to run a grocery store. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
There's a deep contradiction
Of course.
in both of these things. And I'm frustrated by it.
Of course.
I'm going to breathe now.
Okay. But in a way, you know, people expect us to go off on Whole Foods all the time because we're the angry vegans, remember?
Oh, right. I actually am kind of angry now. Yep. I don't know. Maybe this will help.
Okay.
Except it's not a joke.
No.
But, you know, I don't know.
Okay. Are you done now?
I am now.
Okay.
That probably scared somebody out there.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay.
Wake up.
All right.
Let's move on.
Okay. Let us read some emails. Do you want to do the little tune?
Email. Do you want me to do... Should I do the more kind of rock and roll tune? Or should
Yeah,
I...
let's do that one. I don't think we played that in a while.
Drop the phone, it'll save you a tenner. Send an email to Bob and Jenna.
And the luscious rat and cat with our lovely email theme song. By the way, if you want to hear Rat, he was on the show back on show number 40. when we did the music,
The music show. Yeah.
So you should go back and listen to our interview with Rat. He's a good guy.
He is.
And Kat, too, of course. They're
Of
great.
course.
Kat's not a good guy. She's a good
Woman.
woman. She's a good woman. I mean,
Okay, that doesn't sound right.
It sounds a little bit
You're
like
right.
she gets me my beer. She's a good woman.
Okay, didn't mean it to sound like that.
And gal, if you say gal, like that
That's
just sounds so
horrible.
like,
That's horrible.
ew, it's like so skeezy. It's like something wow, she's a fine gal with great gams. It sounds so 45 World War II news clippish.
I would just, Cat is rocking. How's
Cat
that?
rocks.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Our first email comes from Megan. She says, hello, my name is Megan. My husband Tim and I, we are vegan, and our dog Mia are going to hike the Appalachian Trail, all 2,175 miles of it, beginning in March of this year. We will be hiking it to raise money for Project R&R, which is a wonderful program working to promote the release and restitution of chimpanzees in research labs. Jane Goodall is on board for the project. We want to let you know about our project so that we can further get the word out about animal rights as well as living a vegan lifestyle. Please check out our website and help us spread the word. Thank you. And it's veganthroughhikers.com. And we'll
THRU.
THRU.
Okay.
Hikers.com, and we will add that on our show notes as well.
If I remember to do it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to make a list right now of the links I have to put in.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
That's a good idea.
We got YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right.
We got one. There's an E at the end of YouTube. It's not YouTube.
YouTube.
There's the first video and the second video. And then there's the vegan what?
That's it, Vegan Through Hikers.
Okay. And is there anything else we need to add out the...
I don't know, maybe some of the links from Webley, too,
Okay.
about Portland.
Okay. If I forget to put them in, it's because I'm a fuckhead.
Okay.
Next email we have. Do you have anything else you want to add on that?
No.
This is from Addie. And Addie says, hi, I was listening to your podcast on January 14th-ish, and I wanted to suggest something to the listener who wrote in asking what to do with her non-vegan foods. She says, donate them to food banks or homeless shelters in your area. So, good point.
Good point. I totally did not even think of that.
That's all awesome show, if you didn't already know that. NYU grad student. Thanks, Addie.
Excellent. Thank you for that suggestion.
That's a great idea.
It is. Let's see. The next one is, greetings, Bob and Jenna. I've been a health-conscious vegetarian minus a few bumps in the road for a little over 3 years. Over the last year, the ethical consequences to my choices started to become apparent. I drew the line in the sand on January 1st, 2007, and became vegan.
Oh.
Yay, do a little yay.
Whoops.
No, not that one.
Where's the yay? Your screen's too small. Your dock is very big. You like the big dock?
I like the big dock.
What am I doing? A yay?
Maybe, I don't know if we have a yay.
And now, let's bring out our special guest.
No.
In a few moments, you can come up and pet the turkey if you want to.
No.
The internets.
I don't think I have a yay in here.
Yay. We need to get a yay.
I had it. I don't know what
I
happened.
think I might have deleted by accident.
Oh, good job.
Okay.
Way to confuse a guy.
Anyway, I spent that very first day researching veganism on the internet, searching the Google, when lo and behold, I found you guys. I can't tell you how effortless you've made the transition. Well, thank you very much. And he likes the podcast, especially the Gary Francione one. And even went and bought Introduction to Animal Rights, which is an excellent book, by the way.
Absolutely.
But he also adds, now I'd like to share, I thought I'd share with you something a little disconcerting I saw on television, The Insidious Evil. First off, I'm planning a trip for pleasure to Portland, Oregon for sometime in March. And if anybody in Portland would like to meet up with him, we have his email. And you should go to the forums when they open back up if you're not already on the forums, because there's people in Portland to meet there.
Indeed.
Recently, my mom called me and told me that there was a show on the Travel Channel about Portland, so I planned to tune in. It turned out to be Anthony Bourdain's stupid show, but I thought, what the hell, it's about Portland. Maybe I'll learn something.
That's supposed to be booing.
Okay. That's not good.
Fucking man. This sound cart program. Go ahead.
Okay. On the show, he explores some of Portland's underground catacombs with a local guide. In the catacombs, his local guide shows him some trapdoors that were used in saloons at the turn of the century to kidnap patrons for human trafficking. Bourdain actually remarked, although maybe it was the methadone talking, "Dude, I need one of these in my restaurant. Vegetarians at table 1? Wonk." He pantomimes pulling the lever to open the trapdoor. Boy, what a creep. Meanwhile, he's the one eating sheep testicles like that's not offensive. So that's from Chris.
For some reason, Bourdain, whatever his fucking name is, annoys me more than any of the other television chefs.
Me too.
Although I don't really like Emeril.
Yeah.
Emeril just is like a little fairy
Troll.
I don't like him.
We saw him the other day on TV. We were flipping around the channels, and he had like this big suit on, and
He looked
just looked like blocky.
Master.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he did. But well,
yeah, Bourdain, he's a particular breed of asshole that's amazingly annoying.
He is.
So, and he goes after vegans and vegetarians. Like other chefs, will just like do things that would annoy vegans and vegetarians. But
Some of them
actually,
bust on them.
Some of them bust on, but
Like,
he actually goes after them, which is really annoying.
What's his name? Ramsey, Gordon Ramsay. He goes after him.
Yeah, that's true, but not as much.
He says like the vegetarians have no palate.
We do. It just doesn't taste of death.
We don't have a death palate. Okay. Do you want to read this one with me?
Oh, go ahead. You can read it.
No, I think we should read it line by line. I get a line, you get a line. Oh. Would that be too complicated?
Okay.
Look, this is how easy it is. Ready? Look,
all right.
I move over here.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready?
All right.
This is from Jerry Rubenfeld. And he wrote a poem for us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the poem goes like this. The vegan freak should fucking curse.
The use of vulgarities should not ever be replaced by verse.
Detractors may scoff and others may misjudge.
But the vegan freaks should never ever fucking budge.
You think cursing is bad. In contrast, it is pure.
Displaying the real vulgarity, which is not at all obscure.
Those innocent creatures tortured alive until death.
We cry for them until their last fucking breath.
So shove it up your ass, you motherfucking scum.
Jerk off until you fucking come.
Eat shit, get fucked, and go hump your father's wife.
Until you learn what it is to have true respect for life.
Love, Jerry.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for the poem.
That was great. I read that the other day in my email. I died laughing.
Like, yeah.
So, yeah. The last stanza there really does it.
Indeed.
Yeah. Eat shit, get fucked, and go hump your father's wife. Damn.
Yeah. And you think we're vulgar.
Oh, we are so not vulgar. We are so not vulgar. One other thing I want to post. Oh, shit. I can't get to my email from here. I'm going to post a funny picture of our book.
Oh.
From Tofu Punk. So be sure to check the show notes over at podcast.veganfreak.com. Our book featured at an anarchist bookstore, but next to a magazine. It's funny. We're in good company.
We are.
We're in very good company.
Indeed.
I don't know. What else?
You know what? I think that's it.
Wow.
No voicemails this week. I didn't have time to do
them. We're crazy this week.
Yeah, so
we will get to them, though.
Voicemails probably 2 weeks from now, because next week's going to be Gary Francione.
Yeah, that's true. We will get to them.
We got a bunch, so I'll have to go through them and see what's up.
Okay. And we'll be back again next week with an interview with Gary Francione. We get to that regular show, I think.
Probably.
We're trying to sort out other interviews with people. We will let you know as they come through the pipeline. In the interim, I don't know. Subscribers, make sure you've checked your email. We sent you a little note about Dino's cookbook. So get in touch with us if you haven't gotten that.
Will hopefully be coming out in February.
Hopefully.
But shortly. Looks good.
It does. So we're excited about that. And we've got a lot of interesting projects coming out. But we're going to do a show week to week. If it means we do half hour, well, then we do half hour. But if it means we do 2 or more hours, we do that.
Right.
We do what we got.
Indeed.
And we figure that that's better than waiting a month to do a show.
Indeed.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Good. Do you out there, all of you out there in podcast land on the internets, do you agree?
Okay, good.
Sounds like yes to me. I'm going to assume it is, whether it is or isn't. But I don't know. So that's it for this week. If you want to get in touch with us, you know how.
Podcast@veganfreak.com.
That's right. And 267-295-1944 on the voicemail line. You can go to our website at podcast.veganfreak.com. Is there anything else I have to tell you?
No, I think that's about it.
I think it is. So be in touch with us. If you're not vegan, you should be.
Indeed.
If you're not vegan, let us know why.
Yeah, we've asked this question to people who've written us emails. Or sent us voicemails in the past, and some of them have responded. So
Absolutely.
If you're one of those people that just has a stumbling block, let us know what it is.
Absolutely. And there was someone else I just want to mention really quickly. A teenager wrote to me, and I think I wrote you back, but my computer, the email client quit. But listen, You were writing me and told me you had to take some medication, and you didn't want to take it because you were vegan. Fucking take it.
Yep.
And if you want to know why, I'll explain it to you next week. But you need to take it. There's no question.
Yes.
Nobody can be 100% vegan. Doesn't mean you should eat eggs and dairy.
No.
But if you have to take medication, you should take it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something really vital for your health.
Indeed.
So take it. All right, bye.
Bye.
Are you clever hiding fear behind flippant remarks? Well, what a surprise. They say ignorance is bliss, and if that's the case, your brain dead myopia is hilarious. Or maybe you, I'm a vegan freak. That's what you think, I'm a vegan freak. You're a vegan, I'm a vegan freak. That means that I'm a vegan freak.